Peace and blessings, life and poetry fam. I'm gonna jump right in. As you can tell by the title, she said yes, right? Your boy is engaged. Let's rewind some though, all right? Because this wasn't a recent discovery here. Last year, September 28th, I proposed to my girlfriend who I met when I came home from a situation. I wasn't locked up or anything. We could talk about the situation in another video, but this one specifically designated to her because I love her so much, and I couldn't wait to get this video out. I was gonna wait to get this out in the future because I wanted to make sure everything was in order and correct. But look, it's gonna be what it is today. I'm gonna get it out to you guys, right? But so it's September 28th, and I proposed to my at the time girlfriend on her birthday. Surprise, right? So needless to say, when I first met her, we were in church, right? No, I wasn't at church trying to find a girlfriend or whatever. When stuff happens, it happens, and you go with it, right? So we in church, and I see her. I'm sitting like in the back. I'm like all the way in the back, and I see her walk across the room or whatever. And my eye like follow her across the room. I'm still in service, so I'm watching the service happen, but I'm seeing her walk across the room or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, I was like, oh, she cute or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I've never been that person that's been like, let me jump out there and that's never been me, right? Contrary to which people may think, I'm shy. I try to keep to myself. I'm not that forward person who pushes into something, but I guess this one was just a little bit different, right? So I see her walk across the room, and she was gone for a minute, and she come back, right? The service started to wrap up, and I walk out of the room we having service at, and I'm going to the bathroom, and I see her walking towards me, right? And I'm trying not to make eye contact with her, but I did, right? And so she stops and we start chopping it up. We talking about this, talking about that. And then she asked me, she was like, didn't I go to this high school, right? Forzo Military Academy, salute to y'all. So she's like, didn't you go to Forestville? And I'm like, yeah. She was like, oh wow, me too. Right, so we chop it up. Then we walk off. I go through. I gotta do. She go. We gotta do. Right. So the next service come around. Service is over. We get through service. I'm still watching through service. Right. I ain't gonna lie. I was on full on like, look, where she at type mode. You know. So I see her. She bobbing past whatever. The boom. All right. Same thing. I speak, and she like speaks and like disappears. I blink. She gone. She was gone. Right. It was fine. It was cool, whatever. You know, maybe she just didn't want to talk at the time. It was fine. But I wasn't going to stop. I was not going to stop, right? So later on down the line, served again in church again, right? All this pretty much happened in the church thing. We're going to get there, right? So later on down the line, service is over this particular day. And she's sitting at a table, and I slide into the table. It was like one of them cafeteria school tables, right? With like the long bench type seat. So I slide on the joint, right? And I was like, hey, you know, we speak, we greet each other, you know, the proper way to speak. You don't just walk like, yo, shorty, I don't do that. It's not me, right? So I speak, right? And it's like summertime rolling around. So I'm like, so what you gonna do? Excuse me. I'm like, what you gonna do for the summertime? She was like, I'm just gonna hang out. She was like, I'm just gonna hang out or do something. I was like, so what, you gonna hang out with your boyfriend? And she smiles and was like, I ain't got no boyfriend. And I was like, oh, okay, true, right? So then, boom, we go about our ways, whatever, right? Little did she know, I'm like trying to ask questions to like try to figure out what the move is or whatever, right? So 4th of July roll around, right? This is summertime, right? The 4th of July weekend roll around, right? Now my birthday is on the 1st of July. right? And the fourth was on like it was like what was it like? If the fourth was like during a week or whatever, something like that, right? So that Sunday we had a church event, right? Had a church event, and we went to one of the church members' house. We had like a 4th of July cookout or whatever. And first, I wasn't going to go. I wasn't going to go at all, right? Then my mentor was like, you know, you ride with me, so we going to this cookout. And I was like, okay, cool, I'm riding with you. I ain't got no choice, right? It was pointless to me going back home the opposite direction for them to come back out, like, you know, the backtrack, whatever. So we go out to the cookout or whatever. And I get in the house, and I see her sitting there. And I was like, oh, dang, she really came. You know, I didn't know I was coming, right? But she was there. So I'm like, man, okay, wow. So I'm sitting with my group of friends or whatever, and she's sitting across the room. We talking, yada, yada, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about stuff at the table. And I look over my shoulder, and I see her sitting there with one of the young, one of the kids in the church. She's playing with one of the kids in the church. So I look back over, and I was like, hey. And I was like, why you don't ever text me, right? And she was like, I ain't got your number. And I was like, well, huh? Hit my phone, put your number in my phone. I'm gonna do the same thing. Bow, right there, got a number. I was ecstatic. I'm like, man, this really worked. It wasn't a ploy. I ain't had no game. I didn't know what I was doing, but it worked in my favor, whatever, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I got her number. So I was like, what am I gonna do next? I've never, this is new to me. It's new territory. I was in a relationship before, but this way of things was new to me, right? I made the move, so I was okay. So, you know, I was like, all right, when you leave, text me to make sure you got home, right? And I'm gonna do the same. I'm gonna text you, make sure whatever too, right? So I get home that night, and I'm looking at my phone, no message, right? I'm like, dang, maybe she just ain't gonna do it, right? So I pick up my phone to make the first text, and if I get the message off, boom, right? We texting each other back and forth, right? So I was like, all right, bye, all right, good night or whatever. You know, I'm glad you made it home safe, whatever. I had fun today, whatever, yada, yada. Right, so the next day, we had just moved to a new spot. So I'm sitting there unpacking my stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, I say, man, I'm gonna hit her up and see if she'll help me come unpack, right? Mind you, at this time, one of my battle buddies came, you know, to help me unpack. So I'm pretty much already unpacked. I got one more box done, pretty much hangers to hang up in my closet. So I hit her up. She's like, yeah, I come here to help you unpack. I was like, damn, she really coming? I was like, she ain't gonna really come, right? So she was like, what's your address? I sent her the address, right? And she really pulls up with the swiftness, but like no hesitation. I'm like, man, she here. I'm nervous. I'm like this, that, and the third. So we sitting there laughing, you know. We go to the room. I'm hanging up the hangers for that. She was like, so what you need help with? I'm like, well, I'm pretty much done now, you know. She was like, oh, okay. But she didn't leave. She stayed, right? And so we started talking about stuff, this, that, and the third, you know, our time in Forestville and our high school and stuff like that, and who we knew, who we didn't know. I mentioned I had classes with her brother, and you know, this, that, and the third, you know. And at Forestville, we had an orientation process. We had to welcome in the new cadets. Forestville was an entire cadet-based high school program at the time. We ran pretty much the military ROTC program, Army ROTC program, throughout all 4 years at Forestville. And she mentioned to me that when I had command there, that she was in my orientation class. Like my orientation company. So I was like, man, I don't remember it, right? And I'm thinking to myself, man, like if I had known that then, what could happen, you know, as it came up. I'm a senior in high school. She was a freshman, but it would have been all right. You know, we were still in high school. It was like nothing creepy was gonna happen. We could have just been friends, whatever, until, you know, the time was right or whatever, you know. So we sitting there, and I'm like, you know, yeah. And she's sitting on the edge of the bed, like on the tip-top edge of this bed. It was so adorable. And I'm like, okay, I'm nervous, she nervous, but then it clicked me. I was okay, you know what? She's in a guy's room. You know, I'm not gonna try nothing. That's not me. I was not about to try to do nothing like that. I just wanted to know who she was and, you know, get a feel for, you know, her as a person at the time, you know. So we chopped it up, and I'm like, I'm hungry. Let's eat something. I'm throwing out what we can eat, this, that, and third. And she doesn't eat none of the stuff I'm throwing out. So I was like, dang, And I was like, well, I got some French fries, right? She's okay, I can eat that. It's cool. About French fries. We eat something, right? I'm in it. I can make some French fries. We put in the oven, wait for them to cook, whatever. She was like, nah, not the oven. It's gonna take too long. Let's put them in some grease on the stove. Now me, I'm not a cooker. I don't like really cooking on the stove top unless I have to. And I never cooked French fries in grease before, like that. You know, I never like deep fried no French fries before. She was like, well, I'm gonna teach you. I'm like, okay. That's about a real cute little cooking lesson, whatever, yada yada. So we cooking, we in the kitchen cooking, and she's like, all right, the grease hot, put the French fry in there. So I'm scared. I'm thinking grease gonna pop. I'm like, you know when you cook bacon and grease start popping? I'm not about that life. All right, my bad, right? Brief interruption. Baby girl called, right? How ironic, right? I'm shooting a video about her and she calls, right? But when we leave off at the French fries, right? So we cooking the French fries on the stove. Yeah, I can bounce back. My mind is, I got that, right? So we cooking the French fries, and I'm putting the French fries. I'm moving slow. This is literally my hand. Look, this is my hand moving it slow, right? And she tapped my hand and dropped the French fry, and I'm like, man, what? She said, man, you just stop being scared. Just put it in, right? So we made the French fries, and we go back. We in the room. We sit on the floor, and we eating, making jokes. We laughing, this, that, and the third. You know, and we still talking about stuff, talking about, you know, school and stuff like that, and you know what's gonna happen, things like that. You know, and it was talking about just a variety of. Some was corny things. Some was like, okay, let's talk about what happened in school, this, that, and the third, whatever. You know. So we sitting there talking, and I'm like, and I'm smiling the whole time, and I make a joke about this being our first date, right? And I was like, yeah, this is gonna be our first date, you know, and we need to record it. So let's put this on Snapchat, right? So she laughed, and I'm like, I'm serious. Let's record it, put it on Snapchat. So we record a video, and I'm letting her people on her Snapchat know that, look, I'm on a date with baby girl. That's gonna be this our first date. We eating French fries or whatever. It was real cute type thing, you know. And then I was like, you know, that's when I was doing, you know, I learned about this WCW thing. I wasn't fond of all these MCMs, WC, all that nonsense you put on these hashtags on social media. But I was like, look, I'm going to post you this week as my WCW, my Women Crush Wednesday. And she'd be like, nah, no, you're not. Nah. I said, all right, watch. So I'm going to write a nice little poem about you and stuff. I'm going to put it on a good picture of you. So I got her to send me a picture of her. And I was like, watch. I was like, look out for it. And literally, Wednesday morning, I woke up, I got my life together, I was pushing through my day, cooking breakfast, and what I do, I post the picture with the poem and the caption, and letting the world know that this was my WCW. And pretty much everybody was like, oh my God, look who he posted this, that, and the third. Now, my church being the playfully so being the nosy people that they are, they screenshot the post and sent it to her mom. Her mom sends it to her, and I'm getting messages back and forth. Oh my God, I knew this, that, I knew you this, I knew that, and the third. I'm like, what are y'all talking about, right? And I was like, oh wait, the post, right? So I go back, and she hit me up and said, oh, you really posted it? And I was like, yeah, no, I wasn't playing no games. And she was like, so what did the poem mean? So I explained what it was. It was a love poem that I had wrote intentionally for that picture. And I didn't know what it was going to lead to, but I was hoping it was going to lead to us at least being, you know, good friends, you know, moving to that relationship status, you know. And the blessing was that it did, you know. And from that time, you know, we put in 2 years of hard work and dedication to each other. And I had the courage enough to say, look, I'm going to make this girl my wife, you know. And being the praying man that I am, I sat with God for a few nights, a few tough nights, you know, early mornings, late night type thing, praying like, God, you know, help me through this. Is this, and I'm moving too fast, is this, that, and the third, you know, and a few times I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, man, God ain't listening. He not answering me quick enough. I need an answer like now. So I'm sitting there, and one night I'm sitting there, I just got my head down. I'm just like that, right? And I'm sitting there, and I hear God say to me, that's your wife, you know, and we still in relationship status, you know. I'm not thinking about marriage at the time. God was like, yo, that's your wife. And so, I pushed this. I mean, that's just me thinking to myself, I'm thinking too fast, But I was like, man, this is something I asked for. So let me ask again. I'm like, God, is this my wife? Right? And I'm sitting there praying, and I opened up my Bible, and the first scripture that popped up was, "He who finds a wife finds a good thing." Now, I wasn't searching for the scripture. I wasn't looking at the scripture ahead of time. It just happened to pop up in my Bible app. And I was like, man, if this ain't a sign, I don't know what it is, right? So some time down the line, I take her mom's out to lunch, to sit and chop it up with her about some things, right? And before I can get it out of my mouth, her mom asks me, and I quote, "So when you gonna marry my daughter?" Now at this time, we coming up to that 2-year mark, you know what I'm saying? We literally knocking at the door of 2 years, knock at the door of 2 years. So I'm like, man, all right, so let's talk about it then. Like, what do you think about it? You think she ready for it? Do you think, we moving too fast? Do you think I'm a good person, good enough person for her? Do you think that we're gonna be good together? And her mom basically tells me, she's like, look, you love her, she loves you, you make her happy, and trust me, she was like, if I didn't think you were good enough for her, then it basically wouldn't be. It wasn't no specific words, but that's what I heard. That's what my ears were like, look. It's like, look, bruh, if I ain't want you for my daughter, you wouldn't still be in this picture right now, And she gave me her blessing that day. And a couple of days after I went shopping for her that ring. And I was like, look, I don't know what I'm getting. I don't know how I'm gonna get it, but I'm gonna make it happen. Right, so I'm online looking at different rings, stuff like that. I'm pricing different rings here, different there, and the third. So I'm like, okay, now I gotta get this money for it, right? And God blessed me with a way to make the money for it. And yeah, so I got the ring, and we pulling up to that birthday, right? So I'm planning stuff, and I'm asking her mom, say, like, let's get some people out there, we're gonna surprise her, some third. And she was like, her mother was like, she don't really like surprises too much. And I was like, she'd be all right, right? So I was like, just sneakily ask, who can we invite her family out there, that and the third. And so she basically, she's like, nah, she don't want all of them around. So I was like, cool, all right. I was like, well, at least I'm gonna have her mom and her sister there, which was the blessing behind it, because they both was like, look, we gonna make this happen. Her sister was like, look, I got you, let me help you plan this here out, So she didn't want her family there, but I was like, I want my family there to be able to witness this. I didn't want them to see this after action or on a video, on pictures, whatever. I want them real time there. So I'm coordinating with my family. I got them together. I got that, they pushing back and forth, so I got them on board, whatever. And we got a location, we got a time, we linked up, whatever, right? I had my family literally sit on the opposite side of the restaurant so that she didn't see them coming, whatever. So I gave them instruction on what to do and what not to do to not be seen, because my family can be a handful. You can hear them from a mile away, right? Truly. But and if you're watching this family, you know who I'm talking about. Y'all can be a handful, right? So we at the restaurant, and I'm nervous. We order food, and I'm shaking. I'm like, I gotta go to the bathroom, and she was like, you want me to walk with you? I'm like, no, I'm good. But her sister was like, I'm gonna go with you because I gotta go too. So I get up from the table and we walk around the corner, and my family's sitting right there. And they smile and they all excited, other than third. I'm telling them, okay, look, I'm gonna hit y'all up in a minute. I'm gonna go to the bathroom, we're gonna come back, whatever. I'm gonna let y'all know when the time is to come over, right? So we chop it up. I'm talking to her sister. I'm like, look, I'm shaking. Her sister was like, you all right, you got this. You made it this far. We got your six, basically we got your back, So I'm sitting there, I'm still nervous. I'm at the table, and I got this ring in my pocket, and it feels like it's burning a hole in my pocket. I'm like, man, how am I gonna do this? Am I gonna follow the plan that I got set for this? I'm just gonna be like, you know what? Boom, bang, bang, yes or no. I was gonna write her a letter and say, look, do you like me? Back in school, do you like me? Check the box, yes or no. I was gonna go that route, but I was like, no, that's not gonna work, And the plan was for me to write a poem for her, because it's me, it's a birthday gift. She would think that the poem was just a poem for the birthday gift, which was the gift at the time. The poem I wrote specifically for her, a one-of-a-kind piece that nobody has but her. So I pull out my phone. I got the poem on my phone, and I didn't want it memorized because I didn't want to look at her face because I would have stumbled, start crying and stuff, right? So I'm reading the poem, and at the end of the poem, I um I basically forget the last stanza of the poem, and I freestyled the end of it, right? So I look up from my phone, I look at her, and she's smiling, but her eyebrows is up, like, okay, what's about to happen, right? She sits back in her chair, and I reach in my pocket, and my hand gets stuck. So I gotta add more words to in the poem so I can finagle the box out of my pocket, right, without her actually seeing it. So I finagled the box in my pocket, and I was like, look, what I say, I said, dang, what I say? Man, it was so much. It was like, okay, I was like, I was like, at this point, you know, some people get down on their knee, but if I get down, I ain't gonna get back up, right? So I pulled the box out of my pocket. I was like, you know what? God told me, he who finds a wife finds a good thing. And at this point, I want to make you my wife. And I was like, will you marry me? And I popped the box open. And she trying not to cry. I look at her mom, she crying, her sister crying. I got my family behind me. They getting emotional, getting choked up. And I'm like, man, I can't cry. I got to stay strong for this moment here, right? She hits with the hottest, right? And I was like, is that a yes? Like, I need confirmation. She was like, yeah, right? So, but yeah, man, when I tell you, like, that was probably the best day of my life through everything I've been through. I've been on this earth for 27 years. This year makes 28. July 1st makes 28 years. And I'm like, man, for everything I've been through, everything that I've lost, this made up for it. You know, to be able to say I found a person who loves me for me and who allows me to love her for her, you know, through all of our ups, our downs we've had, our shortcomings, our growth, whatever it may be, you know, for a lifetime, I've made that commitment that this is us to the end of time. You know, I made a vow to myself and God that I would do my best to give her the world. And I truly mean that. And I won't fall nothing short of it. I'm getting choked up, but it's all right. I'm gonna get through this here because it's something to say when you find that person who makes you feel whole, when you're in a broken place, you know, when you're putting the pieces back together and you're there and you're like, man, it's a piece missing. You got the puzzle together, but it's that one piece that you can't find, and you find it and you put it and it fits perfectly into your puzzle of life. And it's just amazing to know that she actually said yes, right? The blessing, the amazing part, she said yes. I didn't know what I'd have done if she would have said no. I probably would have flipped every table over in Cheddar's. And I'm sure my family would have been right behind me. We would have flipped every table over and took somebody's bread off that table, you know. But we didn't get to that part. She said yes, you know. And from that point on, we started, you know, it was just an amazing piece of growth and journey for us thus far. And I truly look forward to the future that God has planned and destined for us, He has ordained for us to walk through. I know that on our wedding day, August the 7th of this year, it will be an awesome time of our union, of us actually coming together and committing ourselves to one another officially. I'm not going to say I'm not nervous of what the future will bring. I'm not going to say that I'm not fearful of it, but I will say that I'm prayerful of it, and as long as we continue to put God first in our lives, just as we have done thus far, it will work out for us in the future that God has planned for us. So that's it, Life and Poetry fam. She said yes. Oh, before we go, I gotta leave you with this. Girl, you know I love you. Oh. I'm through. All right, I'm through. All right. Peace and blessings, Life and Poetry fam. Till next time.